The Leicester City players have arrived at the King Power Stadium to pay tribute to the club's owner and chairman. A little earlier, a touching moment as the son of Vishal Srivadhanaprabha paid his respects. The Leicester owner was one of 5 people who died in the helicopter crash outside the stadium on Saturday evening. The King Power Stadium has become a shrine to a man who has been described as bringing not only the football club but the whole of Leicester together. It's a family and city united in grief following the events of Saturday night, and the tributes continue to pour in. These just some from the Leicester players, highlighting just how much respect they had for the man they simply called the boss. The Thai owner who took a football team from spiralling debts in the lower leagues to the champions of the English game. Well, let's go live to Rob Dorsett, who is at the King Power Stadium for us. And Rob, just how have the players taken this sad news?
Well, from what I've been told from within the club, the players have taken it very, very hard. A lot of them were very close to Vishal Srivadhanaprabha. You mentioned there that they called him the boss. That's all how they always referred to him, and there was a little wry smile on their face when they greeted him as the boss. That's why all the hashtags on their Twitter messages that they put out have included that as well. But they spent a lot of time with him. Away from football, he treated them to holidays, lots of gifts for their families. And he really was very close to an awful lot of the players. And they were due to turn up for training today, the Leicester players, and I'm told that whilst 1 or 2 of them did have a very light run around, the vast majority of them didn't. They just sat in quiet groups inside the training ground. 1 or 2 of them went for a walk around the perimeter of the training ground instead. A couple had some physio and a bit of a massage, but there was no training of such today. And Leicester are trying to be as understanding and as respectful as a club to their employees as they possibly can, as I understand. We can show you the pictures of the players arriving here at the King Power Stadium just about an hour or so ago, where they've had a big meeting with everybody that works at this football club in together. And my understanding is that they've all been offered grief counselling. They had counsellors at the training ground this morning for anybody that wanted to talk about it. But it sounds to me as though most of the players in this Leicester City squad, which is a very close-knit squad, don't forget, spent time together talking about their memories of Vishal Srivadhanaprabha and sharing their grief together. There were tears, as you'd expect, but now that they've had that meeting here at the King Power Stadium, the question is, will they come out and have a look at the tributes and pay their respects, as indeed so many thousands of Leicester City supporters have. And to that end, we've seen the academy squad already come out here this morning. This is a very young group of players, don't forget. What are they making of all of this situation at the moment? They came with the coaches and with the rest of the academy staff, bowed their heads and paid their respects to the man that spent a lot of time with the youth players as well, and really put a lot of money into that youth academy and the facilities they have, which they work with. But perhaps the most poignant moment of the day so far came mid-morning when Ayawat Srivadhanaprabha, the son of Top, arrived here to lay a wreath alongside his mother, Ayman. And a very poignant moment for him as he said farewell to his father. I don't know whether you can see from our other camera now, but the first team squad is just walking out here. We said we wondered whether they would come out and pay tribute. Well, here they are en masse. It's a very somber mood, isn't it? You can see James Maddison there, Harry Maguire, Wes Morgan's there. Now, I know for a fact Wes Morgan was very, very close, very, very close to Vishal Srivadhanaprabha. The senior group of players, Kasper Schmeichel, Wes Morgan, Jamie Vardy, Christian Fuchs, those sorts of players, the players that won the title with Leicester City, they spent a lot of time with him. Their families spent a lot of time with him. They spent a lot of time together with the wider Srivadhanaprabha family. And so very often in a football club you hear about the people that run the football club aren't that close to the people there. You're looking at Claude Puel, the man who took over, who was appointed by Vishal Srivadhanaprabha. We heard him speak to French radio yesterday and say that he was devastated by what had happened. Harry Maguire too, only signed for Leicester 18 months or so ago, but has blossomed in his time here and got his place in the England squad. he has an awful lot to thank Vishay Srivadhanaprabha for, hasn't he? But you're looking at Wes Morgan, and I know for a fact that Wes has been very, very upset the last couple of days, because, as I say, his family spent a lot of time with Vishay's family. And so quite a poignant moment, really, when the players come out here and look at the tributes. They haven't been able to do that for the last 2 days. Of course, you can remember that for the last couple of days, it's been the supporters, the wider football family that have been coming here to pay their respects and lay tributes. This is the first time that the first team, the players themselves, have had a chance to do so. And my understanding is that the club left it entirely up to them. A very human decision about whether they wanted to come out here in the very public glare of the media spotlight, because there are broadcasters, cameramen, photographers, reporters from all over the world here today. So whilst they've been able to grieve very privately for the last 2 days, it was their choice about whether they wanted to come out in front of the public glare and see these tributes. I think it's a mark of the squad that they did want to do that, and you're looking at them doing it now. Such was their feeling for this man. They wanted to show just what he meant to them. It'll be a very difficult time for these Leicester City players, won't it? We know that the game against Southampton in the EFL Cup that was due to take place here at King Power Stadium tomorrow night has been postponed. As I understand it, there are still discussions going on about Saturday's game against Cardiff that's due to take place in the Premier League. Now, will that go ahead? We don't know. Will Leicester's players want to play it? Will the Leicester club want to play it? We don't know. I think the hierarchy at the football club that I've spoken to are taking it day by day at the moment, and of course they're trying to plan for the future. But the players they're very aware of as their employees are, to a large extent, heartbroken by what's happened, by the loss of the chairman here, as indeed are the supporters. And while the players continue to look privately around those wreaths, those testimonials, we've been speaking to a lot of the people that are here, that are still arriving here today in their huge numbers. And as you can hear from the opinions you're about to hear, people are still quite shocked, very shocked and very hurt by what's happened over the last couple of days.
We've seen people come down today who don't have no interest in football but just relate to the guy. We've seen Leicester Tigers rugby fans come down and lay shirts. But wider than that as well, we've actually seen people from national clubs. You know, I've had an outpouring of texts from right the way up from Newcastle, right the way down to Bournemouth, of fans saying what a wonderful guy he is, what a model for a chairman, you know, and how sorry they are. And that just epitomises it for me.
We didn't feel that we couldn't not come today, that it was something we needed to do.
I wanted to say goodbye to him and, yeah, just to pay tribute to what a fantastic man and a fantastic family, and to feel how sad we are and, you know, how dreadful it is for the footballing world.
It's been that good, and he's that, you know, did everything for us. Cakes and that after, you know, after his birthday and all sorts. It's so sad. I can't just...
So while you were hearing from some of the Leicester fans that have been here today, I can tell you that the squad are just beyond the side of the crowd there now. I've seen John Rudkin, the director of football, Ayawat himself, Ayawat Srivadhanaprabha, the son of Vishay. What is he going through at the moment? The grief that he must be feeling, and yet he's out there now along with the players, paying their respects and just remembering what a man he was and what he did for this football club. I think we can go back to those pictures and you can see the players standing there now as we speak. It's a very, very quiet, very sombre. Nobody's speaking, are they? And that's Jamie Vardy alongside Ayawat. The man they call Kun Top. He's known as Top by all of the supporters. And the dignity that he's shown today, having lost his father, well, a matter of days ago, is quite extraordinary. We've said, haven't we, that all the way through the last couple of days, we've said how close this football squad is, this group of players on Sky Sports News. They're now united in grief and sharing this moment. Nobody seems to know exactly what to say. The fact that they're just here, I think, speaks volumes. And in the meantime, of course, whilst this is the very public face of grief at the front of the stadium. At the back of the stadium, the Air Accident Investigation Bureau are still doing their work. They've still got screens up around the crash site, which is so close to the stadium, less than 100 metres away from the perimeter of the stadium itself. They are busily trying to get all of the evidence that they can to find out exactly why Vishay Srivadhanaprava's helicopter came down as it did an hour after the final whistle against when Leicester played West Ham here on Saturday night. So many theories running around on social media that we won't get involved with. It may be several weeks before the Air Accident Investigation Bureau make their final report on what happened. But Geraint Hughes, my colleague down in London, has been looking in depth at the processes they go through.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rob Dorset. Powerful pictures there, just picking up on that point with Geraint Hughes, who joins us in the studio. Hello again, Geraint. The Air Accident Investigation Branch conducting what seems to be a standard and very thorough investigation. What's the latest state of play on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Rob's absolutely right with just his last comments there about some of the nonsense that's been out there on social media. Nobody knows exactly what's happened yet, and nobody will do before the Air Accidents Investigation Branch. They're a thoroughly impressive professional unit that are sadly used to dealing with this kind of incident. What they have told us today is that they've recovered the flight data recorder, the digital flight data recorder, which records voice and data. They actually took that away from the helicopter yesterday, and it was taken back to their specialist unit in Farnborough last night, but they've only begun work on it today. Such was the heat that was involved once the helicopter had crashed, and obviously there was a fireball. We saw pictures of that on Saturday evening, so they haven't been able to start work on that recorder until today as a result of the post-accident fire. They're going to continue to work with the police on site. As Rob was alluding to there now, I think we can just take a little bit of have a look at the geography around the King Power Stadium. We've got the stadium as you see there. Rob is on a road just, I suppose, if we look at this as being north, south, east, west. Rob is standing on the road sort of to the north of the stadium. The crash site, I suppose, is down in this sort of southeastern corner, as you see the crash site there by Car Park E. As Rob also alluded to as well now, the Air Accident Investigation Branch, along with their colleagues in the police, there is a tarpaulin over the crash site now. They'll be working there now for several days, probably, they said, until the end of the week with police. The expectation is, say, for the rest of the week. What then happens is they will transport the wreckage. Once they've done what they call their site analysis, they'll take the wreckage then to their specialist unit in Farnborough, where many people may have seen programmes that are on television. They will piece the helicopter back together. That will help them determine what has happened, along with the flight data recorder as well, which they've started work on today. One thing that we can possibly do here, and the viewers who are watching us now, is anyone that was in the vicinity on Saturday evening that might have seen something, that may have just got something on their phone, that may just be a few seconds. There's a further appeal from the Air Accidents Investigation Branch and Leicestershire Police. Anyone, contact the police, 101, quoting incident number 546. However trivial you may think it could be, it could help. If it's just a few seconds on a phone, it could help them. So Leicestershire Police 101, the incident number is 546 of the 27th of October. That could really, really help. As I say, a further appeal today from the Air Accident Investigation Branch. What we know about the helicopter, we know that the company King Power had two. This was a newer model that was manufactured in 2016. The type, it's an AW169 Augusta Westland, an Italian make. It has, we understand, a very good safety record. We think this is the first accident involving one of the helicopters, but that is for the Air Accident Investigation Branch now to literally piece by piece go through on the site and then back at their specialist unit back in Farnborough, and they will conclude their evidence. It will take them time, it always does do. Just be patient, and they are the only people that really know what's going on here. OK, Geraint, thank you for now. Back to you in just a moment's time.
Yeah, we are now joined by the former England and Leicester manager Sven-Göran Eriksson. Sven, thank you for your time this afternoon under such horrible circumstances. But just sum up for us, what did Vishay do for Leicester City?
Well, I knew him many years ago, of course, when I signed for Leicester. And what he did at that time for Leicester was great. He told me one of the first times I saw him what he wanted to do with Leicester. He wanted to bring the club to Premier League. He wanted to make the club stable, good, top club in the Premier League. And that's, during the years, what he has done. And he has also, well, everybody knows Leicester won the Premier League. Incredible. So he has done exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah, and he did so much for the club. He also did a lot for the city of Leicester itself. I mean, how much will this affect the community of Leicester as a whole?
Well, as I knew him, he was a very good man. He was passion for football, passion for his club. And he treated the people at the club, like players, the staff, myself, in extremely good way. If we needed help, he always came to help us, and all his family was involved in the club. So it was like a family club. And he was outside, in football, but also outside football, extremely generous to the people he knew, and I'm sure that in the community, to fans, he has been fantastic. And it's tragic what happened, and it's very sad, and he was a great man.
Yeah, I mean, and you've mentioned there...
He sacked me, and I still say he's a great man.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic tribute in itself, Sven. I mean, on a personal level, you mentioned there he's a great man to work with. Can you just share with us some more of your memories of this man?
Well, he came normally the day before the match or match day, and sometimes he wanted to have dinner after the match and discuss the problems during the week, the problems we might have in the future, talking about the team, about everything about football. And he really cared about Leicester. He just didn't buy the club and then hired people to take care of it. No, he and his son and the whole family took care of everything. And I remember sometimes he invited me to London for meetings, and always in these meetings he said, now we go out, Sven. We go out, take a coffee, and now we go to a good shop. And it was clothes for men. And I said, I don't need anything. Yeah, you need a jacket, you need that. And I could never pay. He always paid. Extremely generous. And he didn't need to do things like that, but that was like he was.
Sven, we really appreciate your time, and just a really touching tribute there to the great man Vishai Shrivadhanaprabha. Thank you very much, Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Thank you.
Yes, a unique insight there from Sven-Göran Eriksson. Now, getting back to Geraint Hughes in terms of the logistics of the next few days and week. We understand that tomorrow's game has been postponed, the EFL Cup match against Southampton for Leicester. What are the chances of the weekend's Premier League game, the away game for Leicester, going ahead? Because Rob Dorsett touched upon that.
Yeah, he did, interestingly, Rob, there. Obviously, the game against Southampton, the Carabao Cup, which was due to be hosted at the King Power Stadium, that's been postponed. That needs to be rearranged in conjunction with both clubs and the EFL, of course, as well. Next Premier League fixture is away at Cardiff City. I've yet to be able to get answers from either the Premier League or Cardiff City about the fixture. So as it stands, the game goes ahead unless we hear otherwise. But clearly there are sensitivities, as Rob was alluding to there. The state of mind of the players, the manager as well, Claude Puel as well, but also his staff and the other staff at Leicester has to be taken into account as well. I'm sure they will all want to reflect on it. There's quite possibly, it is only Monday afternoon, and the accident only happened on Saturday afternoon. It's just maybe too raw. And as Rob again said, kind of just dealing things almost not by day, but hour by hour right at the moment. So there are a list of fixtures which Leicester will have to fulfil at some point. The game against Southampton we know is off. Cardiff, at the moment, we believe is still on, but that could change. The next home Premier League fixture is due to be against Burnley a week on Saturday. And then, of course, there is an international break there before their next game towards the end of November, 24th of November. I think they're away to Brighton as well. So the logistics will need to be thought of, but probably right now, I think it's just a deep rawness that we have probably seen with the pictures and what we've heard that's taken precedence. And then, as we were talking about earlier, the investigation by police and the Air Accidents Investigation Branch, who will remain on site at the King Power probably for the rest of the week.
OK, a lot to consider. Thank you, Gareth.
Now, as we saw, the players have come out at the King Power Stadium to pay their own tribute, witness the tributes that are taking place. And these pictures of a minute's applause that broke out among the crowd just a short while ago.